It's pretty quiet on the weather front right now, but that's not going to last for very long. The governor just adding 21 counties to his state of emergency, including many in our area. A lot of us in Northern California closely watching the next big storm. In fact, some people living in parts of Newman are being told to leave their homes tonight. Others are now under evacuation warnings, and it all comes with the concerns about flooding on the San Joaquin River. Keep in mind, the evacuation shelter is located at Patterson High School. We have more information on our website, abc10.com. And the snow has been relentless in the Sierra. Folks are having to dig their way out as they prepare for another storm, bringing rain and snow. In Nevada City, a roof collapsed at a school gym. ABC 10's Alicia Machado has a closer look at the damage and how locals are preparing for the next weather system.
Well, this is what's left of the gymnasium here at Echo Ridge Christian School in Nevada City. The weight of all the snow that's accumulated here, just too much for the roof. It collapsed over the weekend. Thankfully, no one was inside. It's hard to tell what once stood here at Echo Ridge Christian School. Their gymnasium destroyed over the weekend when the roof collapsed, leaving behind a mess to clean up.
It's surprising and devastating to see just how much damage there was.
Vice Principal Louise Pryor showed ABC 10 a closer look at the damage. The building, built in the 1960s, was a hub for many school activities, including PE, cooking classes, lunchtime, and even music classes. 2 pianos destroyed in the collapse. Before this, the school also opening its doors to the community.
We rented out for church groups and soccer groups and all kinds of things, which really helps our little small school here. And not having it is going to make a huge impact.
We're standing in the kitchen of the building, and you can see from here that the gymnasium is a total loss. But still, the administration is hoping to rebuild.
Certainly hope that there's something that will help us get back in shape soon, because the people in the community who rely on this school are really going to be hurting.
And they're not the only ones dealing with the aftermath of California's winter storms. Resident Kathy Daugherty sharing these photos with me of a building that collapsed near the Nevada County Airport. Locals like Bill Fox digging up the snow to prepare for another storm.
I was called from the food bank today, spent hours up there, about 4 of us, working on the roof and making trails so the water, when it starts melting, has a way to go, so it wouldn't be so heavy, and hopefully it doesn't, because that rain's going to make it very heavy.
The gym is located in a separate building from the main school, so none of the classrooms were damaged. Students will be able to return to school during the assessment and rebuilding period.
Our Alicia Machado reporting the school is asking for help from the community to rebuild the gym, and we have a link to where you can help on our website, abc10.com. We're seeing these roof collapses in El Dorado County, too. We were at Apple Mill Storage in Camino yesterday, hours before snow caved the roof in. And people there tell us that more than 70 RVs, boats, and trailers are stored there, and that they are totaled. One resident telling us that she hopes her fifth wheel's not one of them.
We have no idea. We don't know if that's, totaled out or just scratched up, but I would imagine that it's taken a beating, that's for sure. And then now with the second collapse, I think that that's really pretty major.
Catherine tells us the storage yard has been in touch, but hasn't been able to get anyone out there to check it due to the weather and safety concerns. We want to turn now to meteorologist Carly Gozmez, who's tracking what's coming next. Carly, a lot of snow on a lot of roofs.
Yeah, we have been seeing it all around, and a lot of you have been sending in your own photos. Just take a look at this one also in the High Sierra, just the mounds of snow on top of homes right now. And we know in the last 24 to 48 hours, we've been seeing all over social media CAL FIRE rescue crews just trying to help those get some of that snow off their roofs. But, the thing is, you can't help everyone. We're hoping that people were able to get some of that snow off their roofs just in time for this big storm system headed our way. Let's talk about the Central Sierra Snow Lab. We are now the top 5 snowiest seasons on record for the Donner Pass area. Records starting in 1946, we have now hit number 5 at 603 inches. And after this storm system passing and the one into the early next week, we anticipate we may actually start rivaling the number 2 spot. So something to keep in mind when we're talking about all this snow. Yeah, we're starting to break records of snowiest years. Now let's talk about this atmospheric river, because this is one that's very warm coming off the Hawaiian Islands, targeting California, being pulled in by storm systems. And what's happening here, snow levels are no longer right around 1,000 feet. We're looking at them way high, so anywhere we saw snow is going to start melting off, running off into those rivers, streams, and creeks. Now, the impacts we're going to first see is the wind advisory that takes into effect tomorrow to Friday. And then after that, we're looking at winter storm warning and flood watch in effect from Thursday through Sunday. So a lot to get to. We'll talk all about it coming up.
All right, thanks, Carly. Yes, a lot to keep our eyes on tonight. And it's a combination of cleanup and prep in South Lake Tahoe. People and companies moving as fast as they can to get snow out of driveways and streets as well as roofs. Gino Bedwell, who owns G-Pro Snow Removal, says that he's getting call after call ahead of this next big winter storm, but just isn't able to keep up with demand.
So we take the top, the fluff off the top, 2-3 feet off the top, which hopefully these people get done before tomorrow afternoon when it starts raining, because without taking that off with the load that's on there now, we're going to start seeing some buildings collapse.
Gino says the roof doesn't need to be scraped to the shingles. You just need to get the heavy snow off before more arrives and piles up on top of it. We saw a lot of this after those storms in January, and once again, the saturated soils and high winds, it's a recipe for falling trees. And as we saw in January this year, one tree service company tells me that they aren't expecting the incoming storm to have quite the same impact, but in all likelihood, some trees will fall in this event. Here's what to know if that happens on your property. In a quiet cemetery, a reminder of the time Sacramento earned the nickname City of Fallen Trees.
There's nothing wrong with this tree here. Like, the roots are fine. There's no evidence of decay.
Max Eccles' tree company, TreeMax, received a flurry of calls after the storms back in January claimed countless trees, roofs, and cars as its victims.
So what we're seeing here is soil saturation to the point of critical failure.
He says soils remain saturated, and with heavy rains and high winds in the forecast,
Here at TreeMax, we're expecting some calls. We're expecting some trees to fail. It's definitely not going to be as bad as it was in January, but I do expect some trees to fall over.
This is the kind of thing insurance is made for. Before this happens to you, take a close look at your homeowner's insurance and call your agent.
If a tree falls on your property but doesn't do any damage to either your home or your automobile, there is no coverage to have that removed. If it does do damage to any covered property, so anything that's covered under your policy, either home or auto, there is coverage provided for that removal.
And as for your car, if you have comprehensive auto insurance, you might be covered.
We always recommend comprehensive coverage. That would cover it. We always encourage people to reach out to their agent at least annually and just go over what your coverage options are.
We've had a few calls where people are in a panic. Absolutely.
Before you call a crew, call your insurance if one of your trees falls in the storm. It's also important that if you see a tree on your property that's leaning or shifting, or you see cracks in the soil around its roots, you should call an arborist to check it out. You can stay up to date with all of the latest conditions and weather changes on the ABC 10 app. It's free to download. Turning on those notifications will also help you stay in the know instantly.